So I was able to spend 24 hours with MrBeast, and even though I didn't win a Lamborghini or win $500,000 or get buried alive, those 24 hours taught me more about what it takes to run a successful business than the years I spent learning on my own. So whether you're interested in building wealth, making YouTube videos, or creating a passive stream of income, these are the best lessons from one of the most successful entrepreneurs on YouTube. To start, I showed up early in the morning to a warehouse that honestly was probably bigger than most industrial shipping facilities. Like, as soon as I opened the door, I saw dozens of people working on various movie-sized set designs. Everyone knew exactly what they had to be doing, and it was the epitome of productivity. But despite the size of the business, Jimmy purposely leads a very frugal lifestyle, and when we sat down to talk about it, his reasons were really simple.
Like, I'm not worried about paying for a mansion. I don't drive a Lamborghini. I purposely have a really dumbed down lifestyle, so because it gives you freedom. You know, most people can't reinvest in a business because when they get to this level, they're worried about their $10 million mansion. They're like 4 or 5 cars and insurance and keeping up with that. I just cut it all out. I have no personal debt or things, that I have to pay for. So I can just go all in on the business because it's it doesn't even matter, you know what I mean?
In fact, he gave me a tour of his studio apartment, which was formerly an office space, and he wasn't joking. It had a bed, a TV, a desk, some weights, a microwave, a closet, and a bathroom. That's it. I found it incredible that he was able to realize at a really young age that material possessions slow you down and makes it much more difficult to operate in such a way that gives you the freedom to essentially do whatever you want. This was something I specifically related to because I applied the exact same strategies throughout my entire 20s as well. For years, I was able to save 99% of my income by tracking my expenses, cutting back anywhere I could, and living off my investments so that I didn't spend any of my commissions as a real estate agent. Doing that took away all the pressure of having to earn enough to maintain a certain lifestyle. And as it turned out, all of those things became the foundation to bringing me where I am today, because I was never worried about losing something that I didn't need in the first place. Just think about which experiences leave you with the best memories, simplify them down to the basics, and then map out how much it's going to cost to maintain on a monthly basis. Chances are your baseline is going to be a lot less than you think, and anything else above that is probably going to be a distraction that takes you away from what you enjoy the most. In addition to that, I've also noticed that it helps to have one single focus without distraction, and MrBeast is an expert at this.
I just want to keep making the best videos possible. I have to reiterate, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but everything I do stems from that, because if I stop making the best videos, people stop watching, and then Feastables is irrelevant, Beast Burgers are irrelevant, all the companies are just literally irrelevant.
To be honest, I was rather surprised with just how much he outsources, because it completely opens the door for him to only focus on what he enjoys the most, which, if you couldn't tell, is just making good videos. I know it sounds obvious, but I've largely forgotten what it's like just to have one thing to do every day. Even though my priority is this channel, I also have 2 other channels that take my attention, along with coordinating guests, making sure bills get paid, speaking with accountants throughout the year, answering emails, scheduling meetings, coordinating travel accommodations, filling out paperwork, and probably a few dozen other things that seemingly crop out throughout the day that pull my attention away from what I really enjoy the most. I think the simplicity of being focused on one single goal is something that so many of us forget. And in this case, having one target is going to yield a much better result than being spread thin. Outside of that, though, I have to say, he also surrounds himself with a really great team. You remember the smartest kid in class? Well, imagine that, and then expanding your social circle throughout the smartest kids in the country, and then hiring the best people in every single category that have the exact same vision that you do. I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating here, but I'm not.
Apparently, if you make a pee joke, it will drop your attention by around 5%.
No pee jokes, that's just a no-go. No matter how funny it is. I mean, I think it's funny, but doesn't matter. It's just a no-go. You can't do that. It's just, no. No.
For example, I'll never forget when I walked into his warehouse, I was almost immediately greeted by his camera crew who showed all the options of every single possible shot that we could get for an upcoming interview, along with any combination and option of camera that you could think of. Frankly, he's taken the approach that if he wants to continually improve on video quality, ideas, and creation, he can't possibly do everything on his own. So he found other people who could do it better, and they're just as excited about pushing the limits as he is.
Who keeps track of this? Do you have a team of people?
Tariq and the other camera people, at this point, I don't even know, honestly. Like I couldn't tell you what any of this stuff does.
Every single person I spoke to absolutely loves their work, and that's the sort of environment that spawns creativity. It's kind of like one of those places where you get more excited because everyone else around you is also excited. And because of that, it's not surprising how much they get done. Even for myself, this was the most difficult aspect of my own business to embrace, because for the longest time, I just did everything on my own. But at the same time, I also realized that this is also the same thing that's holding me back. And as I've slowly handed over the reins to others, I've been humbled to realize that, yes, other people could do it better than I can.
Hey guys.
Now, even though I'm not sure how directly involved MrBeast is with the hiring process, it's obvious that he's cultivated a very tight-knit company culture with the singular focus to continually improve. And for me, it's very much the same way with a team that feels like a small family. Now, these last 2 points could be easily applied to anyone watching, and it became apparent that when it comes to Jimmy, whether he wins or loses or makes a mistake, he wins because he's able to learn from it.
Sometimes, we'll edit a video a certain way, and then we'll just be like, well, what if we try this? And so we'll have to basically re-edit the video to see if this other way produces a better story and if it flows better.
When every problem is presented this way, it's almost like no matter what the outcome is, it's going to be positive. If it's a hit, great, take notes and do it again. And if it's a dud, that's great too, because you know now what not to do. This allows him to continue pushing himself so that it's always positive, and there's always something to gain, whether it's good or bad. I also found it refreshing that he's extremely self-aware of his own content to the point where he anticipates and knows that he'll have to change and adapt over time.
No, I don't think just what we're currently doing is going to be relevant forever, but that's the beauty, because we just adapt and innovate. I'm not hard set on anything. I just love creating, you know what I mean? I used to do these videos where I donate to Twitch streamers. I would just go open up their random Twitch streams, I'd donate 10 grand and say nothing, and then just watch them freak out. People loved it. We did 12 of those. They all went super viral. The content I'll be making in 5 years is different than the content I'm making now, and the content I'm making now is different than the content I made a year ago, and a year ago, and a year ago, and it's always going to change. I think that's how you stay relevant.
Personally, I believe the current strategy of perfectly optimizing for retention is eventually going to shift back to a more laid-back, personality-driven approach. It's just that as one format works, people begin to copy it so much that it no longer works until another format emerges. And MrBeast is at the forefront of anticipating exactly what people want, which I have a feeling is a free stock worth all the way up to $1,000 when you sign up with their sponsor public.com using the link down below in the description and make a deposit with the code GRAHAM. But beyond that, MrBeast believes the future is going to be in shorts. And no, not those shorts, these shorts.
So I'm going to start only doing shorts that are similar to long form. I want to post one a day eventually on the main channel. I'm telling you, it hasn't clicked in your head yet, but Charlie, Addison, all these people, if they can just literally do what they're doing, but over on YouTube, and make a bag off of shorts, and then on top of that boosts their long form, which makes even more money. You're going to be crazy to be a TikTok first content creator.
Look, the largest creator on the platform is moving in one direction, taking calculated risks, and changing up their content. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to apply the same strategies to your own life and business as well. In fact, I'm going to try to listen closer to hear exactly what you want to see more of. Yes, I'm talking to you right now. If you comment down below, you let me know what you want me to make videos on, I'll read pretty much every single comment. I can't respond to them all, but I'll do my best. Anyway, I would use this as an opportunity to see where you could try improving, where you could take a little bit more risk, and how you could push yourself to think outside the box. And finally, I've never seen someone operate so efficiently. To start, just getting to spend a day with MrBeast and his team was incredibly difficult because every minute of his day is pre-planned, sometimes months in advance, with a few empty spots thrown in here and there for anything that might come up, like an interview.
Whenever I want to do something, I'm like, hey, I need to meet with so-and-so tomorrow, I need to do this. He compiles it, and then every day just makes a prior list. I basically wake up, and I dump all my stuff I need to do, and then he just kind of schedules and priors it on whatever is most important for the business, and then I just wake up and do what he tells me.
How far ahead are you planned on that?
Let's see. Well, I mean, my calendar is out till the end of the year, but...
What are you doing 3 weeks from today?
We're going to be making the world's largest burger.
That's crazy you have it planned out like that.
Honestly, I think almost everyone is able to apply the exact same strategy to their own life as well, to cut down on all the time wasted on things that make absolutely no difference whatsoever. Like, just consider this. One Harvard study found that the average person wastes 21.8 hours a week. The average user spends 2.5 hours per day on social media. On top of that, the average person spends 26 days a year doing absolutely nothing. Like, just think about that for a moment. How often do you wish that you could have an extra 2 hours in the day to get work done? Well, cut off social media. Or by working more efficiently, you would have an extra month every single year to do something of value, like staying at the most and least expensive hotels in the world. Even though that might sound stressful, if you want to operate at a higher level than most, you gotta do your best to stay busy, recognize where you're spending most of your time, and track your goals on an hourly basis to make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll end up on TikTok for an hour. Ask me how I know. Oh, and he also wanted me to remind you to subscribe and to end the video really abruptly to help with video